Good day to members of the media and the listening public. Thank you for your attendance and for watching this press conference. The public will know the government is committed to improving the financial assistance system that currently helps those in the community who require financial support to meet their basic needs. I am therefore pleased to inform the Bermuda public that the government is moving forward with a comprehensive financial assistance reform strategy. The strategy aims to chart a new course for financial assistance by changing it into a streamlined and efficient system that emphasizes giving those previously unable the opportunity to fully participate in the local economy and realize their potential. The strategy has an even more ambitious goal of moving our able-bodied and able-disabled recipients into employment opportunities as soon as possible. This will help to avoid long-term dependency on the system. Furthermore, through active engagement in the workforce and participation in training and other support services, recipients will benefit greatly from a completely new and different approach. And so we will move from what we know as financial assistance to a system that motivates and empowers individuals to improve their financial situation. The reform system will focus less on policing and administration of rules to helping more individuals access the services and support available to help them. This approach will not only meet their basic needs, but also allow them to achieve a greater sense of personal and financial success. The reform consists of 4 overarching aims and strives to increase sustainability of the financial assistance program, strengthen the education, training, and employment services for financial assistance recipients, encourage individuals and families to become financially independent, and improve the program to better support persons with disabilities. To accomplish this, the financial assistance program will promote the financial stability of individuals and families by amending the asset and income criteria to allow those receiving financial aid to hold or receive gifts up to $2,500 and hold savings or investments up to $5,000 in single adult households and $7,500 for households with 2 adults. Institute personal employment plans and strengthen employment support services to ensure all financial aid recipients not only have a plan to get employed, but are also provided the collaborative support needed to help them achieve financial independence. Amend the child support rules to allow FA recipients to retain 50% of child support received to help cover child-related costs. Improve access to affordable and suitable housing by working closely with BHC and landlords of rent-controlled properties. Enhance the Incentives to Work program to help clients to see a rise in their standard of living when they have a job or increase the number of hours that they work. Improve outcomes by ensuring public-facing services are sufficiently resourced with the appropriate staffing, support, and services, and an appropriate performance framework, complaints and disputes process. Ensure that the level of employment services and support people receive will be proportional to their level of need, so that people with disabilities and others who face multiple barriers to employment will not be left behind. Receive a cross-governmental approach to effective social services so that it is better able to assist people to obtain and keep good, sustainable work. These social services will focus on supporting vulnerable populations, allowing them to maintain or develop independence and receive the necessary assistance. Improve assistance for disabled people by ensuring access to a range of employment services available to those with disabilities, as well as specialized disability-related support services. The financial assistance reform will be comprehensive and result in a whole new experience for current and future financial aid recipients. The experience will be focused more on providing the necessary guidance and support for persons to gain and maintain their financial independence. For this, the reformed FA system will be an investment in our people, and I am confident that the return on this investment will be tenfold. Thank you. At this time, I'll take any questions from the media.
Owen Johnson Barnes, Rural Gazette. Do we have any idea of timeline for this reform process?
So some of the reform requires legislative amendments to both the financial assistance legislation and the regulations. And so once the House is able to get back open and we can pass these legislative amendments to get the reform fully started in earnest.
Are there any projections as far as the short-term and long-term financial implications of the reforms?
So the short-term implications would be that we have less persons who remain on the system for long periods of time. The long-term effects is that we build a more sustainable system that people have faith and trust in, and a system that actually empowers individuals so that people that come off of financial assistance are better off than when they came onto the system.
Now, we recently heard that around 700 people will be, in the tourism sector, will be losing their jobs at the Fairmont Southampton. Can you tell us what government is doing to make sure they can return to the workforce as soon as possible?
So that is most unfortunate that those persons will be made redundant. The ministry will be releasing a full statement today regarding the support that we will be providing to those persons.
Do you have any idea when employment for the upcoming St. Regis Hotel might begin that might provide some sort of hope for those who have lost their jobs?
We don't have an estimated opening date, but certainly a natural transition would be to ensure that as much of the displaced hotel workers are then taking up employment in the new opened establishment.
David Fox, Bermuda Broadcasting. The Royal Gazette asked you about when can something happen, and you said legislation, Parliament reconvening. But surely the punitive nature of financial assistance right now, people can get some relief from that right now. You don't have to wait for legislation for that. Right now, you can be much more helpful to people who are on financial assistance. You don't have to wait for anything.
I'm not understanding the nature of your question.
Well, I mean, in other words, you can provide help to people right now who are on financial assistance. You can assist them instead of hounding them down about whether they have a few dollars that they get from somebody in terms of investments or a few dollars or as a gift. You can stop hounding them and help them find a job, because that's one of the programs that you've announced.
So certainly the support service to current FA clients, and so that is ongoing. We are actively working with the Department of Workforce Development to execute the job strategy. Part of the job strategy is targeting those individuals who are currently on financial assistance and seeing if we can get those individuals into employment opportunities as we speak. And so this reform strategy actually aids to what we're already currently doing. But some of the requirements that I did announce in the reform strategy require legislative amendments.
So there's less policing now. People are not going to be as hounded as they have been in the past. There's been a long history of that.
The current way in which FA operates, they operate according to the law. And so they will continue to hold people accountable to the rules that are currently in place. What we're talking about moving forward is amending some of those rules so that there is that less policing taking place.
How many people on financial assistance today? How much does it cost?
Financial assistance costs us close to $56 million annually. When we looked at the categories, there are 1,015 pensioners on financial assistance. There are 969 disabled individuals. there are 216 low-income earners, and then there's 160 able-bodied individuals. I'd also state that since we have moved into providing additional benefits for those people who are unemployed, we have a number of persons who are now on what we consider to be a supplementary unemployment benefit, and we also would have a number of persons uptaking FA. So these numbers are very fluid and will be revised.
So roughly, so with the fluidity and everything.
So what I would say is over 900 persons who have, 1,000 persons who have picked up applications. And a lot of those applications are in various stages of approval. And so the number will change as persons are approved onto one of the two financial support systems that we do have.
It was a mention of the Southampton Princess hotel, and you said there would be a statement, but I just wondered, I mean, you're a labor man anyway, so how many contract workers are there in the hotel industry in general, let's say from the last season, before, before the hotel closures? How many were there roughly anyway?
So the ratio is currently 70% of the hotel workers are local. So that would be 30% are work permit holders, and that ratio would hold, of course, is the average, of course, different establishments.
So that's how many contract workers would that be? I'm talking about for across the industry, because you're saying, the government's saying that we're going to try to get. I mean, this is one of the broad mandates, is that we're going to get more jobs for more Bermudians, and too many contract workers. We're going to make a lot of those jobs for Bermudians. So how many? So
here's what makes sense to me. You have displaced hotel workers. You also have other hotel establishments that require labor and expatriate labor. And so what we'll do, we'll make a conscious decision to try to transition as much of the currently displaced hotel workers into those employment opportunities in sister establishments.
Okay, but any idea how much of that 30%, what the number of contract workers, what the number is? 30% equals what number?
I don't have the total number of
how many
hotel workers.
How many total workers? Okay, that's right.
Time.
Were there any promises made to labor as a result of the closure? Because, I noticed that with the press release from Fairmont that there was a comment from the labor union, a comment from the government. So were there any promises made to labor or to the government by the owners of the Fairmont?
I don't believe, I can't speak to any promises being made, and that is not natural for promises to be made. What I would think is that the nature of the press release is not as shocking, because persons knew that the establishment was going to close at some point in time to renovate, and so they have been having ongoing discussions regarding the closure.
Has the government done any analysis on how this affects the rest of the economy? Because, the other thing is that taxi drivers, this was one of their main things, taking a fare to and from the airport to Southampton Princess. That was one of their best fares. So the taxi industry will take a hit. This was a large portion of the airlift that we had, 30%, I think they said.
It's roughly around 25% of the airlift is attributed to the South Peak property. We do realize that there will be a direct impact of the closure to our economy, and then there's induced and indirect effects. And so those supply chains that service the hotel will be interrupted. Those persons who provide goods and services will see a contraction in terms of their business. Certainly for wholesalers, you'll see a contraction in their activity, because now you're not feeding thousands of additional tourists. So yes, it does have a greater impact on other portions of our economy. Do we have a total value of what that direct, induced, and indirect impact is at this point in time? We don't.
I mean, this is going to affect a lot of people.
Yes. And so what we'll wait and see is when the that the Department of Statistics produce, we can see the direct economic impact of the closure of that establishment.
Yeah, it would be better if you made some projections in advance so that you can help mitigate some of that, though, I would have thought. There's got to be some way of doing that. Is there any, do you know if the owners of this property will retain the Fairmont name? Do you know?
No, I'm not clear on whether or not Fairmont will continue to be the managing partner.
Okay, Minister, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Any further questions? All right, thank you all for attending. Have a great day.